Tricia McLaughlin, Assistant Secretary of State for Public Affairs. Thank you very much indeed. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Piers.
Well, joining me to debate all of this is Rob O'Neill, the former US Navy SEAL who served extensively in Afghanistan and killed, of course, Osama bin Laden, the Republican congressional candidate Valentina Gomez, the Palestinian-American journalist Omar Badr, plus author, activist and attorney Qasim Rashid. Well, welcome to all of you. Rob O'Neill, great to have you back on Uncensored, as always. You've served in Afghanistan. This is a complex issue, isn't it? Because there are many Afghanis who helped America in the war against the Taliban, for example, who then got brought back to the United States. And this can include translators or people who actually fought alongside Americans or whatever it may be, but who performed a valuable public service for America, who were brought back to the United States. And the fear about them is that in the light of this dreadful attack on the National Guard members, which was a clear terrorist attack by one of these people who's just gone rogue or maybe got radicalized, we just don't know yet the full story. But whatever it was, it caused him to commit double murder. In the process of working through how this gets resolved, there's a potential for a lot of these Afghanis to be sent back to Afghanistan. Well, I would think they would face immediate threats to their lives and possible death.
Well, Piers, you said it correctly when I think the word you use is complex, because that's the simplest way to say it. It's very, very complex, and there's so many different avenues. When I think of guys that we worked with coming back here, I'm very familiar with that. When I was over there running an outstation in Jalalabad, Afghanistan, we were hiring locals, and I remember just, parts of Hearts and Minds is to, build the economy, hire electricians, hire plumbers, house security, hire cooks. And I was explaining to one of my guys over there, I called him Larry. He was from Kabul, the thought of a Walmart. And I explained a Walmart to him, and he said, wait, you can get ice and milk in the same store? And I'm like, yeah, dude, you can get ice, you can get milk, you can get your taxes done, your oil changed. I'm trying to explain to it, and it just blew his mind. The idea of a store where you can get everything is so beyond a lot of the people that are born in certain places' capacity that putting them in a place like the United States without properly assimilating them is going to be a big problem just off the bat. This dude that allegedly committed the murder and the shootings would lock himself in blacked out spaces, all depressed, which I see that, not speaking the language, not being used to what you're doing here. It's not as simple as Iraq, Afghanistan. What's the difference? They helped us bring them over here. This is a major shift in them. And you need to keep in mind, men like that, a lot of them, they don't even know how old they are. All they know is violence their entire life. They've been fighting wars forever. They might resort to violence. A lot of stuff needs to be considered, not just thanks for helping us and try not to do the call to prayer 5 times a day. There's so much involved, and it takes a lot of thinking, a lot of planning, and not just shoot from the hip solutions. So I think that these are pretty much one of one every time.
Omar Badr, welcome back to Uncensored. Good to have you back. You just heard me speak to Tricia McLaughlin, Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs at the Department of Homeland Security. There's a lot of stuff going on here with the administration now in relation to the Somalians, with this issue in Minnesota, with relation to Afghanis because of the shooting of the National Guard members and so on. What is your overview about what is going on?
Yeah, Piers, we know this stuff pretty well when it's committed by people domestically. The overwhelming majority of mass shootings that occur in the United States are committed by white people. The person who shot Charlie Kirk, it's white. People who shoot up schools on a regular basis. And we have the common sense to say we deal with these people individually. This is not reflective of the white community in America, and it doesn't mean that we have to take measures against the white community in the United States. We say what mental health factors, what ideological motivations. We deal with it with a level of nuance that makes sense. And we have an administration that simply traffics in bigotry. And so when you have an act of violence committed, in this case, the guy from Afghanistan, he was a recruit for CIA death squads in Afghanistan. That's the operative point. It's the death squads part that makes people more inclined towards violence and makes them a risk, not the fact that he's Afghan. And to then take this particular incident and to generalize it about what threat Afghans might be posing or what threats Somalis might be posing or Muslims or whatever, that is bigotry 101. Basic elementary common sense can tell you that this is not how you deal with situations. And it's just incredibly disappointing and disheartening that we're living in a context in which people use that kind of bigotry to try to gain political advantage. People move people's emotions in a way that helps them take a political advantage. And it's extremely disappointing and the wrong way to go about things, especially if you're trying to build a strong, united country, you don't do it by dividing people like that.